Are you ready to treat yourself to a decadent dessert that will satisfy your chocolate cravings? Welcome to a culinary journey where we'll be creating a truly indulgent chocolate pudding cake. Imagine biting into a cake that's rich and gooey, with a luscious pudding-like texture, all enveloped in the divine magic of chocolate. This heavenly treat not only looks spectacular, but also promises an unforgettable taste sensation. So strap on your apron, gather your whisk, and prepare your taste buds for a chocolatey ride. Stay tuned to learn how to whip up this heavenly treat in your kitchen. Before we start, gather all your ingredients. First up, we need some basic pantry staples for our cake batter. This includes flour, sugar, and a good quality cocoa powder for that irresistible chocolatey goodness. We'll also need baking powder and a bit of salt to balance out the sweetness. Moving on to our wet ingredients, we'll be using milk, melted butter, and a splash of vanilla extract to add that extra layer of flavor. But we're not stopping there. For our unique topping that transforms into a gooey pudding layer as it bakes, we'll need brown sugar and more of that delicious cocoa powder. And finally, to create the magic, we'll need hot water. Yes, you heard it right, hot water. But don't worry, all will make sense soon. Now that we have everything ready, let's move on to the fun part, the preparation. Start by preheating your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and greasing a baking dish. This will ensure our cake doesn't stick and comes out easily once baked. Now let's move on to the batter. First, we'll deal with our dry ingredients. Grab a large mixing bowl and add in flour, sugar, and cocoa powder. To this, we're also going to add baking powder and a pinch of salt. The salt might seem an odd addition, but it really helps to bring out the chocolate flavor. Once you've got all your dry ingredients in the bowl, give them a good mix. You want to make sure everything is well combined. This is important because it ensures that the flavor is evenly distributed throughout the cake. Now, it's time to introduce the wet ingredients to our dry mix. Pour in some milk, melted butter, and a splash of vanilla extract. The vanilla is going to add an extra layer of flavor to our cake, complementing the rich chocolate nicely. After adding the wet ingredients, stir the mixture until it's smooth. You don't want any lumps in your batter, so take your time and stir until you have a silky, smooth consistency. This is the stage where the magic really starts to happen, and our cake begins to take shape. Now that our batter is ready, it's time to transfer it to the greased baking dish. Pour the batter into the dish. Make sure it's spread evenly. This is crucial because it ensures that the cake bakes uniformly. And just like that, you've prepared your cake batter. But we're not done yet. This is a chocolate pudding cake after all. It's not just about the cake, it's also about the gooey, chocolatey pudding that forms as the cake bakes. Next, we're going to create a sweet and chocolatey topping that will make this dessert truly decadent. In a separate bowl, mix brown sugar and more cocoa powder. These two ingredients will create a delightful topping that adds an extra layer of sweetness and chocolatey goodness to our cake. Make sure to mix them together thoroughly so that the brown sugar and cocoa powder are evenly distributed. Now it's time to sprinkle this sugary, chocolatey mixture over our cake batter. Don't be shy. Generously cover the whole surface. This will create a beautiful crust on top that's simply irresistible. Next comes a step that might seem a little unusual, but trust me, it's the secret to our cake's gooey interior. We're going to carefully pour hot water over the top of our cake. And here's the key part. Do not stir. Yes, you heard that right. Resist the urge to mix. The hot water will sink into the batter during baking, creating a pudding-like bottom and a cakey top. Now let's get this beauty into the oven that's been preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Bake for about 30 minutes or until the cake is set. You'll know it's ready when the top has a nice crust and the edges start to pull away from the dish. Once the cake is set, give it some time to cool before serving. Patience is key here. The wait may be tough, but the reward, a rich, gooey, and absolutely delicious chocolate pudding cake, is definitely worth it. Now comes the best part, serving and enjoying your homemade chocolate pudding cake. As you cut into the cake, you'll see the rich, gooey interior that sets this dessert apart. That's the magical pudding layer, a delightful surprise hidden beneath the soft cake. It has a velvety texture that effortlessly melts in your mouth, releasing a wave of deep, intense chocolate flavor. The cake layer is moist and fluffy, providing a lovely contrast to the pudding beneath. Serve it warm if you like, perhaps with a scoop of vanilla ice cream on the side or a dollop of whipped cream on top. The cool creaminess pairs wonderfully with the warm, decadent cake. If you're feeling adventurous, you could also sprinkle some chopped nuts or fresh berries for an added burst of flavor and texture. Remember, this is your creation. Feel free to make it your own. This chocolate pudding cake is rich, gooey, and absolutely delicious. It's the perfect dessert for any chocolate lover. There you have it, a decadent chocolate pudding cake that's sure to impress. This rich, gooey, and absolutely delicious treat is a dream come true for any chocolate lover. From preheating your oven to the final baking step, we've walked you through a simple process that results in a dessert that is both indulgent and satisfying. Remember, it all starts with a mix of flour, sugar, cocoa powder, baking powder, and salt. Add milk, melted butter, and vanilla extract, and you've got your base. The magic happens when you sprinkle a mixture of brown sugar and cocoa powder over the batter and pour hot water over the top. Baking for about 30 minutes results in a cake that's set and ready to serve after a brief cooling period. We encourage you to try this recipe at home and share your experience with us. Don't be shy to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and share it with fellow dessert enthusiasts. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more mouth-watering recipes. Until next time, happy baking!